It's Monday night, and you know what that means. The Jersey First Television Network proudly brings to you the latest edition of Real Talk, and certainly I am the generational talent in Garden State Media, and I'll continue to be the weapon of mass disruption because my level of honesty, ladies and gentlemen, is truly necessary, now more than ever, in this era of journalistic deception. That's right, it's me, Fernando Uribe. Happy Monday, everyone. Hope you had a great weekend. Hopefully, we're trying to get past this winter weather here, and hopefully spring is right around the corner. And I appreciate you tuning in from wherever and however you might be doing so here tonight on the 10th of February as we approach Valentine's Day, the long President's Day weekend. Shout out to all the sweethearts out there, obviously enjoying the long weekend and certainly enjoying President's Day weekend as well. So I want to thank you again, folks, for tuning in here on this, once again, this Monday night here on the Jersey First Television Network. Of course, whether you're checking us out on Facebook Live via StreamYard, also on the Jersey First YouTube page, as well as on LinkedIn, Instagram, and also on Twitter. And for all those of you that haven't done so already, folks, what are you waiting for? Check us out and make sure you check out, obviously, all of our social media platforms. If you've done so already, make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on X, and also on Instagram. And of course, if you haven't done so already, click the subscribe button on the Jersey First YouTube page. You can be automatically notified of all the great content brought to you by the Jersey First Television Network. And whether you get your podcast on Spotify or SoundCloud, and again, listen, you're always out and about doing something, right? You're on your phone, going to your sweetheart's house for Valentine's Day to pick him or her up. Hey, maybe you're doing food shopping, walking the dog. Maybe you're at the gym. Folks, you're always on your phone for something, right? Well, guess what? Download Jersey First from Spotify or SoundCloud, and you'll be, again, privy to all of our great podcasts and all the great content we bring you every single week here on Jersey First TV. And ladies and gentlemen, I can't say it enough what a privilege it is to be on the dream team of Garden State Media. That's right, folks. It is always Jersey First TV. Brand new episodes of The Nader Narrative premiere every Thursday, hosted by my outstanding tag team partner, the incredible Elizabeth Nader, and brand new episodes of Real Talk with Fernando Uribe premiere every Monday. Check your local listings, of course, for start times. And again, takes a few seconds. Like, comment, and share our episodes, whether you're tuning in live right now or throughout the week. Folks, there's a reason why the traffic continues to be very good here on Real Talk with Fernando Uribe. And you know what? Speaking, of course, of traffic, it's all due large in part to going after some of the, social justice clowns and all the woke fools that make life worth living, as they say here. Folks, a lot of them haven't learned anything since November the 5th of 2024. I'm happy to cook a few of them on the show tonight, so you want to stay tuned for final thoughts, specifically for one insufferable feminist and cat lady. Yes, folks, it's Amy Torres. Yes, certainly no one's ever going to call her Miss Photogenic, that's for sure. But yes, folks, I'm going to tell you the truth once again about Amy Torres and sort of the ongoing virtue signaling that she really excels at. And of course, whenever she's not stuck at home ordering Uber Eats or her third, Starbucks coffee through Uber Eats, of course, she'll occasionally go outside and do some work. And when she's doing work, she's doing all of us an incredible disservice, because especially when it comes to the issue of illegal immigration and, quite frankly, what's the best way to tackle it. I'll tell you the truth, and more importantly, I'll tell you the truth about Amy Torres later during Final Thoughts. So you don't want to miss out on that one, folks. Again, stay tuned. It's always a very enjoyable part of the broadcast. And of course, folks, you know what? It's not just always talking about politics here, but you know what? Last weekend, and going into that last week, early week as well, I was privy to, being in person at Rider University down in Lawrenceville, all the way down in Central Jersey. And a special thank you to David Wildstein, the editor of the New Jersey Globe, and certainly a special thank you to Micah Rasmussen, the director of the Rebovich Institute of Politics down at Rider University, for their invitation last week to both the Democrat and Republican gubernatorial debates last week at the campus of Rider University. If you didn't do so already, folks, check out my post game after both debates. As I told you, really, I gave you the best breakdown of anybody in New Jersey media concerning both the Democrat Party and the Republican Party in New Jersey. As we all know, later on this November, there will be a gubernatorial race. Since Phil Murphy is term limited, we'll have the primary coming up on June the 10th, and we'll see who becomes the Democrat nominee and who becomes the Republican nominee for governor later on this November. Folks, one of the biggest issues during that conversation was, of course, the usual property taxes, affordability, but also about helping the state's business climate. And quite frankly, folks, I think it's as poor as it's ever been as a result of this current administration. We'll see where the candidates stand in the coming weeks and months ahead. But folks, when we're talking about the business climate, why not talk to people that are in the trenches? Not just, academics, obviously. They can read books all they want and publish articles, but let's talk to people in the trenches, people that are talking to business owners, to the business community, and really getting a sense of buying power, what demographics are owning businesses, and what demographics are moving out of the state because of the business climate. What better person on a local level to talk to than the distinguished president and CEO of the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. He's my good friend and fellow New Jersey Devils fan. Emory Edwards joins us live right now here on Real Talk. Emory, how are you?
Hey, Fernando. I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm great, man. Happy 2025. I know I saw you recently at the League of Municipalities in Atlantic City, and that's always a good time down in AC after a long, exhausting campaign season, especially for me, since that's really what I cover here on this show. It's good to talk to great professionals, of course, you included there down at the League of Municipalities. And a shout out, because every time I see you, it's always at the statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce League event, obviously down at the museum.
I think I see you a few other places, but
yes.
Thank you for having me on tonight. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And a shout out, obviously, to the statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, obviously, with Carlos Medina and Luis de la Hoz, great job that they do. And folks, if you're not familiar with the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce, it's on your phone, smartphone, tablet, PC, whatever it is, do a quick search, HudsonChamber.org, for all the information. If you're looking to get involved, to donate. Again, listen, it's tax season. Maybe not everyone has some disposable income these days, but if you're looking to donate to a wonderful nonprofit organization, folks, do so by going to HudsonChamber.org and donating to the Hudson County Chamber. Okay, again, your donation online is safe, secure, and of course, tax deductible. Emory, listen, I just got to tell you here, looking at the mission for the chamber, it reads as follows. The Hudson County Chamber of Commerce is the leading resource for driving economic growth, providing education, advocacy, and access to our members within and throughout each community in Hudson County. That sounds like a big word salad, because they all have to be in a sense. Let's break it down. Quite frankly, what's the goal and mission of the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce?
Sure. It's really easy. Our members join the Chamber of Commerce to grow. That is it. That's the number one reason. 99.9% join because they want to grow their business, whatever it looks like. About half of our members are small business members. We have some of the very large corporations here in Jersey City throughout Hudson County. We also have a large number of nonprofit members, which may surprise a few people, but the nonprofit community is an essential part of our economy and do the work that many others just don't. So it's a pleasure to serve. It's a pleasure to connect people, empower people, and advocate for a business community here throughout the county.
When we think about businesses right now, obviously it's impossible to not mention the business climate, Emory. And again, listen, we all know the show's very political, but I don't think this has to get political. I think it has to get more into the core of the apple, as they say, about what are some of the optics that you're seeing right now. You're, again, President CEO of the Hudson Chamber. I'm sure you collaborate with other chambers of commerce throughout the state, not just county-wide ones, but, ones that are based on demographic, whether it's the Hispanic Chamber, the Black Chamber, certainly the Pride Chamber, the LGBT, associated chambers. What are you hearing about the business climate, not just in Hudson County, but regionally, nearby Bergen County, nearby Essex County?
Times are tough. And I do think one of the things, politics is a bad word for many people, but quite frankly, politics is how we all live together, right? That's as simple as politics can be, is how do we want to live together? In New Jersey, how are we living right now? How are businesses surviving? 11.5% corporate tax. That is among the highest, if not the highest in the nation. It's expensive to do business here. I think in many respects, many of our candidates are running for office think of the business community as a piggy bank of sorts. But that's not what we're necessarily seeing. From our largest members, or, you look at some of the larger members, a number that stood out to me, JP Morgan Chase now has more employees in Texas than they have in New York and New Jersey combined. That's a big change. It's not that people aren't doing business in New Jersey, it's that they're investing elsewhere. And that's a real problem.
Well, when you think about, and listen, I'm a little biased about the great state of Texas. I'm a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan. Nothing to cheer for lately, clearly. But listen, there's a lot to really like about Texas. Obviously, it's a great governor, no state income tax. We're seeing more and more businesses being able to move there because the cost of doing business has decreased exponentially. And let me just put this in a sense here for our audience tonight. I mean, obviously, when I look at myself as a business owner, I mean, obviously, yes, it's a media company. Yes, but again, my expenses are very minimal. I have to make sure that my Wi-Fi is working with optimum when they're not effing up once in a while and they get on my nerves. But I'm not renting office space. I don't have to buy furniture. I'm not employing people. I don't have to maintain a payroll. I'm not paying, a payroll tax, et cetera, et cetera. So for someone like myself with an LLC, sure, that is quite not as laborious as someone that, forget about a Fortune 500 company, just someone looking to run a small business, which again consists of maybe anywhere between 10 to 25 employees. That's considerable work though, Emory. And I think for anyone that it looks at New Jersey and thinks that it's a state that's receptive or business friendly, I got to say again, it's not just a conservative in me trying to be apocalyptic. I think that, listen, nearby Pennsylvania, nearby Delaware, Virginia seem like a hell of a lot better and more attractive destination to set up a business. And it's interesting, what's the data telling you when it comes to New Jersey about people staying in New Jersey? Never mind mass migration about how expensive it is to live here, but from a business perspective.
Well, from a business perspective, you can see that more people are doing business elsewhere than they're doing here. And I think some of the issues are local. Like one of the things we're advocating against right now in Jersey City. Can you believe that in Journal Square, they're talking about a third tax overlay to help pay for a cultural arts institution, aka the Pompidou. Right now, business owners in Journal Square pay their property tax. They pay a second tax for the Journal Square SID. They now are going to be asked to pay a third tax for the cultural arts SID. On top of that, they pay a 1% payroll tax for having employees in Jersey City. So when you add it all up, it becomes very expensive to do business here. I love it. I love it here. I love Hudson County. I've lived here for 30 years. This is my 30th anniversary here in Jersey City, right? And I think it's great. And our small businesses are doing well. They have really tight margins, and additional taxes and fees just cut right to the quick for many of them. The market here is great. The county is growing. We can see more and more people living here. But again, many of them think that they live in New York and do a lot of their business in New York. I think some of that may change with congestion pricing unless the president removes that impediment to going to New York. But again, this is a great place to be. And if you're asking who is coming to New Jersey in terms of demographics, even the state acknowledges that it may be too expensive domestically. But again, they're looking at international partners throughout the world for whom New York State may be too expensive, and Jersey looks attractive. So we have a very narrow window right now for economic growth. And I wish it was much broader. I wish the opportunity was really much greater for people without the city, the county, the state finding other ways of getting money out of our business owners.
Folks, if you're just joining us live right now, it's 6:15 exactly on the dot here on the East Coast. And if you're just joining us, like, comment, and share tonight's episode. I welcome the comments as always here. My guest tonight is the distinguished president and CEO of the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce. Again, check out HudsonChamber.org for more information. Looking to donate or get involved with the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce. Emory Edwards joins us here live on Real Talk. Emory, you mentioned Jersey City, and again, obviously it is election season, not just on a statewide level, but we have some very important municipal races. Obviously, we have mayoral races in both Hoboken and Jersey City, as well as Guttenberg as well. And
it's true.
We have council races in Hoboken, Guttenberg, and in Jersey City. And, I'll be interviewing a lot of these candidates in the coming weeks and months ahead. I just recently talked to former governor and mayoral candidate Jim McGreevey, obviously one of the leading contenders to succeed Stephen Fulop in Jersey City. And listen, to your point, I mean, I grew up in Hudson County my whole life. I drive to Journal Square, and for all of you comic book fans, hopefully you'll get this reference. But when I'm driving through Journal Square, it's like, wait a second, am I driving through Gotham City? Is that Wayne Tower? I don't recognize like Journal Square at all with these huge skyscrapers and these incredibly expensive rental buildings where a one-bedroom apartment is going for like $3,000, if not more. Obviously, it's hurting residents and lifers that live in Jersey City. But I have to bet that if you're looking to set up a business in Jersey City or anywhere nearby, that also has to be a concern.
Yeah, and I think part of what I think people don't realize sometimes is if you tax a corporation or a business or a small business even that's paying the 1% payroll tax, for example, the price of products and goods go up because, one of the things the city said about the cultural arts SID was that they based this additional tax on $10 per month per residential unit. So it automatically implies that it's going to drive the cost of rent up. So any tax in a business or corporation does filter down, and the people who pay that are you and me. It's tough. Now, in terms of economic growth, look, Chamber of Commerce thinks it's fantastic that people want to be here. It's a great place to be. It's lively. There's stuff to do here. Beautiful views, beautiful parks, great people. It's a wonderful place to be, but it does come with a cost. And unfortunately, it's a cost that not everybody can pay. So when we're kind of looking at a question, who is Hudson County for? I hope it's for all of us who are here, not just the few who can afford to be here.
When we think about who can afford to be here, I think it also sort of raises a question, not just for lifelong residents or people who are transplants, but ultimately, let's say those that say across the river in New York City or even upstate New York or nearby Pennsylvania, they're looking at New Jersey, obviously, still more affordable to live and maybe operate a business than where they're at right now presently. But I got to tell you, I mean, whether it's candidates at the local level, Emory, mayoral candidates or council candidates, but even gubernatorial candidates. I remember, again, during the gubernatorial debate, one of the biggest dynamics during that debate was, hey, not just affordability, but can this business climate survive? Again, the last 8 years of Phil Murphy have not been business friendly. They just haven't been. It's as simple as that. That's not me being partisan or hyperbolic. That the data tells me that. Whether I talk to the New Jersey Business, Association, whether I talk to other chambers of commerce. Listen, I've had the New Jersey Pride Chamber on here. I've had the Statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce on this program, as well as yourself. I mean, it's not about being political or being partisan here. I think we have eyes. We see exactly what's going on. And when you think about the businesses that are thriving, maybe the businesses that are being stagnant or the businesses that are being regressing, what can you tell us tonight about what the data suggests that, hey, what falls under all these categories I just described?
Well, that's a big question, Fernando. So one of the things that we see in terms of growth here in Hudson County, our top industries are finance, transportation, administrative work. So one of the things that comes with that is clearly we're a place to be. We're in the center of an 18 million person population. We have 300,000 in Jersey City. We have almost 800,000 people live in Hudson County. It's legitimately its own place. It's fantastic. But you're starting to see a lot of people start to buckle under some of the pressures. The rent is incredible. You look at certain other basic issues that people don't always think about. Carding. We have a member, because it's an entertainment venue. They have a bar, right? They're open at night. Because of the carding pickup for waste, they have to pay $2,000 a month to get their trash taken away because they can't put their trash out in the time when the city would want it out. So you start to see these cumulative little issues that start to impact our quality of life. You saw Fox and Crow is closing, Barcade is closing. It's all coming down to dollars and cents. So if you want to have a thriving quality of life here, you're going to have to let people breathe a little bit to thrive.
By the way, shout out, you just mentioned right now to Barcade in downtown Jersey City. It broke my heart when I heard the news that they were closing in June. Again, obviously the lease was not renewed. And folks, again, if you have a chance, it's a great first date spot. I mean, I've taken tons of girls there over the years. I mean, video games, alcohol. I mean, it's a dream first date spot. Folks.
And one of the things you had mentioned a couple of times, by the way, Fernando, the way we approach the candidates running for mayor, Hoboken, Guttenberg here in Jersey City, or the way we're looking at the statewide candidates, we've invited every major candidate from both major parties to the Chamber of Commerce.
I've seen that, yeah.
And we've had several. We have Congresswoman Sherrill, Congressman Gottheimer, Spadia, Spiller, all yet to come. And so one of the things that we try to do is just inform them of the things that are on business owners' minds here. So part of it is not to pick a candidate. That's not how we roll. We want to work with whoever is elected governor, whoever is elected the mayor in any of our great cities here in Hudson County, and just to make sure they understand our agenda now before they get elected to office and get surprised to be like, where are you guys? So we want to be in the middle of it, but we're telling the stories of our business owners. We're telling the stories of our nonprofits. We're telling the stories of how hard it is to get by every day. And really, it's a great place to be. Why make it tougher to be here?
No, I agree with you. And yeah, absolutely. Shout out to you and props to you and the entire chamber for having these candidate forums, because listen, I'm in the process of doing that now and scheduling them as well. It's important to have these conversations, right? With not just gubernatorial candidates, but local candidates as well, because whether it's the payroll tax, whether it is reducing the corporate tax, right, here in New Jersey. I mean, again, these are issues that, listen, I say to my students all the time, all politics is local at the end of the day. And I think when it comes to issues like this, I mean, you want to be able to get the pulse of where candidates stand on this. Yes, listen, you can get the fancy answers and certainly like, the bullet points, but you want to talk to candidates in a sort of like relaxed environment about, hey, what are you going to do in your administration to ease this burden on business owners? Again, as I mentioned before, I'm not even going to compare myself to smaller businesses or anything that have a considerable amount of employees. Again, you're meeting a payroll. You have to talk about, obviously deductions, the taxes that are involved. I mean, this is serious work here, as opposed to, someone who works from home, has an LLC and things of that nature. It's very different. So when I talk to business owners all the time, I feel for them, because I look at this climate and I say, well, again, like you mentioned, rent is going up. So for people that say you just have a home business and work from home, again, rents are not to quote the cliche, but the rent is too damn high, as they say across New York, but here in Hudson County as well. What do you, again, from your conversation with the candidates that have come down to the chamber for the candidate forums, again, I'm not asking you to make, pick a candidate, but to your point, what have been some of the talking points you have heard that seem to kind of, be synonymous among the candidates themselves?
Gosh, how to unpack that? I think right off the bat, you see people who have different visions for the state. I think all of their visions are important, but at the end of the day, it comes down to a question for us, and that some candidates answer better than others. More people are moving out of New Jersey than moving in. My son recently moved to Florida. It's not that he wanted to move to Florida. He got a job there, and he has an apartment he can afford for about half the price he'd be spending here in Jersey City, anywhere in Hudson County, right? He can't afford it, so he left. You start looking at the outflow of students. We have one of the best educations you can get in the United States is right here in New Jersey. Those students are going elsewhere to college. Why? Affordability. Are they coming back? No, once they're gone, they're gone. You look at businesses investing elsewhere. There's a great business community here. People doing really interesting work, great work, innovative work. But again, where are they investing? They're investing where they can grow their business more easily. So at a point, when I'm listening to candidates and what they have to say, that's what I'm listening for, is really how can you make a New Jersey that's great for everybody? And how can you move beyond the whole expectation, hey, it's going to be expensive. That's who we are. I don't think that's who we have to be. I think we can have a great state that is healthy and good for everyone who lives here without pricing ourselves out. And so many candidates have these strong visions for New Jersey, but they don't always quite understand what it takes to put the entire economic ecosystem together.
Absolutely. Well said there. Folks, again, if you're just joining us live right now, it's 6:25 here on the East Coast. My guest tonight is the distinguished president and CEO, Emory Edwards, of the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce. Again, check out their website, hudsonchamber.org, for more information. If you're looking to donate or get involved with them, again, please visit hudsonchamber.org. Again, make sure you follow them. Folks, there's a lot to cover here, so make sure that you obviously like them on Facebook. Certainly follow them on Instagram as well as LinkedIn, and also check out their YouTube page. A lot of informative content there available courtesy of the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce. Listen, Emory, first and foremost, the Chamber has always been very generous and supportive of my philanthropy over the years. So again, thank you for that, and I truly appreciate that. But one of the things that maybe a big misconception that exists is how these chamber events that we like to attend throughout the year in different parts of the state sort of take off. I mean, again, as someone that's been doing event planning for a very long time for different organizations, whether it's Alzheimer's New Jersey coming up now in April, whether it's the American Cancer Society that I do every October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, or over the years, whether it's been the Wounded Warrior Project, whether it's been Hope for the Warriors, or even doing my annual toy drive to benefit local children. Yeah, you know what? It's great. People look at, oh, look how great that flyer is. Look at all these sponsors. Look at the step and repeat. Oh my God, look at the DJ. Look at this event. Look at the good-looking people going to Fernando's event. That's great. But what I tell people all the time is that the work that goes into getting to that destination, and there's a reason why these grays are here. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why these dark circles are here. Not just at the graduate school, but obviously they're there because, listen, you want to make this event as successful as possible for the cause, but also it's a reflection. If the event isn't great, people are just going to forget the cause. And I'm always very leery of that because I want to make sure that I'm doing my due diligence and doing a service to the cause that I'm representing. But the work that goes in, listen, no way am I going to compare what I do on the grand scale of, for example, yourself and other chambers that do great events throughout the year. But I'm exhausted doing a small scale event for, again, as an example, coming up in April, folks, again, Thursday night, April 17th, mark on your calendars, by the way, for Memories Matter 2025 to benefit Alzheimer's New Jersey. That's a small event coming up at Waterside, folks, by the way, again, on Thursday, April 17th. But it pales in comparison, Emory, to what I'm sure the events that I know the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce do, the amount of people you have to employ, the effort, the design, the work. I mean, bro, do you sleep?
Sometimes. First of all, we have some great team members here. Our board of directors is great, and Rudy Sandrada from Guttenberg and Maria Solorzano from Liberty Savings Federal Credit Union are on our board, and they lead our Legends Committee, and they lead our Program and Events Committee. Christian Bailey, who works with me. The most important component, though, is our membership. We have all of our events with chamber members. So if you go into an event, you're seeing a chamber member. We want to showcase people's businesses. We don't have them here. We don't have them at the same place all the time. We have them in Bayonne. We have them in North Bergen. Our next Breakfast Club, for example, is at the Sheraton, Lincoln Harbor in Weehawken. Our gala this year is in Weehawken. We try to get around the county, and we want to show people what our great members are doing. That means that our members are stepping up and doing a lot of the work too, because they want to put their best foot forward so that when people go there, they understand their business and what you can get there. So it's really a collaboration. And I am so grateful for the people around us in the chamber. It's fun. At the end of the day, it can be fun. And I don't have to worry so much because our members are great. And I appreciate everything they bring to the table.
Yeah, listen, when you have a great staff around you, when you have great volunteers and great people that, again, make the job easier, that make the event planning easier. Again, I'm very blessed. I have 4 great co-hosts with me that help, whether it's greeting guests at the door, collecting the donations, motivating people to buy raffle tickets for all our great prizes. I mean, again, this is work, but it's fulfilling. And I know that, at the end of the night, because I don't drink during the evening, I'm meeting and greeting people. I want to make sure everything kind of just goes off well. Again, that's just sort of the OCD in me.
You don't have that one drink just to break the ice before people show up?
I would say probably as soon as I get there, I have like maybe a shot of Jameson.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and then, but the rest of the night, it's like club soda.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Talking to people. And then at the end of the evening, I can just tell you, like, I undo my tie, whether it's the pink suit with the pink tie or the purple suit with the purple tie. I just unwind and have a glass of scotch and relax because, again, I'm exhausted, but it's fulfilling because I know the event is doing a great thing for a great cause.
But see, I also know for our events, one of the things we're trying to get together, like we started why is there a chamber? Why we're here for economic growth? Why are we doing this? Events are really networking events for the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce. Yeah. We're here to get our members together. We have members ranging from Goldman Sachs, Fidelity, to nonprofits with 0 employees, to entrepreneurs who are just in it by themselves. And they want to get together. They want to meet each other. I had an event recently. One of our members owns an elevator repair company. He met a property manager. Well, there's a great marriage right there, right? We had a program once from the New Jersey EDA. One of our members there got a $25,000 grant for equipment that he needed to grow his business and didn't know it was there. So we're there to put people together. So in some respects, our events kind of are in the background. People want a great experience. They want to have fun. But the event is really a vehicle for growth.
It certainly is. And again, when you talk about networking, I mean, I always make it a point to bring like a stack of business cards because you just never know who you're going to meet at these events and how relevant it's going to be, not just to my own business, but perhaps how I can be relevant to their business. So again, it's a win-win for everybody. But when we talk about event planning, I mean, Emory, it's one of those things that, yes, it's time consuming, it's laborious, but at the end of the day, I think we can both agree, it is so fulfilling to see the successes that we're producing with these events and ultimately what they provide for the community. But in your case, for example, the business community. What events do you have coming up now with the Hudson County Chamber? I know you mentioned a couple, but specifically, if you just roll some for us.
There are a couple of must-do events that we have. The next one is on Wednesday, March the 12th. We have Lieutenant Governor Tahisha Way as the keynote speaker, and we're working on a program with the New York, New Jersey Host Committee for the World Cup. It also includes a business-to-business expo, which means that from 11 to 12, our members, our business owners will have a chance to talk about what they're doing, what their services are, what they make, what they do, what they sell. So it's a great place for kind of people to get together and see what's going on in the county. It's our best networking event. And quite frankly, it's a must-do event. Last year we sold out. And so we have a bigger venue. It's always fun when your challenges are to get bigger venues, right?
Yeah.
And so we have a bigger venue this year to hold everybody. And we have a great reason for people to come out beyond talking to each other is meet the Lieutenant Governor. And it's also learn about how you can profit from the World Cup. So really interesting topics for us this year. And March the 12th at lunchtime.
Oh, it's a lunchtime event. You said March the 12th.
Yeah, our annual meeting in B2B Expo is a lunch event because this is also where the 15 minutes of meeting will be where we elect our board of directors. It's also where we give our report card for the past year and tell people where we're headed in the coming year. So it's really one of those great community events that happens during the business day because we're for business owners.
Yeah, and since you mentioned about the World Cup, quickly approaching, I mean, it's literally in 16 months from now, obviously. And as a football fan, I mean, the real football, I mean, the global football, as I like to refer to it, certainly we know that not just this summer with the FIFA Club World Cup, but we have the FIFA World Cup in 2026. And listen, we have the benefits of both finals are here nearby in MetLife Stadium. Obviously not the best facility to have something at, whatever. But I think
no comment.
Yeah, but I'm a Cowboy fan. I've been to Dallas, so I can say our beautiful stadium there. But no, the point is that, listen, for the region, it's going to be incredibly beneficial. And for all the local businesses to get that commerce, to get, obviously, the tourism, the visitation. Certainly, again, as I mentioned before, the commerce is going to be so crucial for these big events coming up. And obviously, like anything else, we have, to your point, all these great networking events. We have plenty of galas through all these great nonprofit organizations that, again, we're so blessed to live where we live. Yes, it's sometimes a curse from an affordability perspective, but we live literally, man, in the center of the world. I look at the skyline of Manhattan every single day. I just walk a couple blocks and I look at it every single day. I always remind myself how blessed I am to live in this center of the world where it is the center of commerce and business and media and sometimes tech. Obviously, and we see that when it comes to these, obviously these chambers that all mobilize. You mentioned something about a report card. What does that entail?
We look back at all the things that we worked on last year, what we've achieved, where we're growing. Like we're growing really fast. We're having about 10 new members every month, which is significant growth for us. People are starting to see a lot of benefits and a lot of value for joining the Chamber of Commerce. We also look ahead. For example, we're going to have a North Jersey Transportation Summit that we're doing together with the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and the Meadowlands Chamber of Commerce, because transportation is by far our top issue here. So we look back, we also look ahead to what we want to be working on. We're working on the Education Summit next fall. We have our Hola New Jersey conference every year, Women of Commerce. And so we also have things that we advocate for. Right now, we've been working in the State House to improve the portable benefits bill. We've been working with our members in Journal Square against that third tax that's going on for our property owners. We are working to help expand our path service, right? That's a really touchy issue because how are we going to have a thriving tourism industry and the path train is 20 minutes apart on weekends and every train is full? So we just want to get everything poised for growth. So that's what I look like. That's what I look at when I'm looking for a report card is to quote Mayor Koch, how am I doing? And how's the chamber doing? And more importantly, how are our members doing? Because that's the ultimate report card.
You know, it's interesting, Emory, last weekend being at Rider University, listening to gubernatorial candidates, both, you know, the Republican and Democrats collectively. And you mentioned transit and what a mess New Jersey Transit is. And I got to tell you, for such an institution that I would say has had, I would argue, a detrimental effect on business, on the business climate, I think, in New Jersey. You know, I'm the eternal optimist. But even I look at institutions like New Jersey Transit, and I think whoever is going to be the next governor, whoever going to be the next set of legislators in Trenton, they got some serious work to do about trying to fix this. Because again, New Jersey Transit just does, again, it certainly affects commuters, but it affects commerce. It's affecting businesses. It's affecting the way I think that many New Jerseyans do business. And without a functional transit system, listen, where I live up here in North Hudson, I walk 2 blocks. I got the light rail. I can get to Hoboken in 9 minutes. I can walk 2 blocks and either hit a New Jersey Transit bus that takes me into the Port Authority, or I can take one of those very sanitary vans on Boulevard East, you know, that run 24 hours. Not the most sanitary things on the planet, but they run 24 hours a day.
Fernando, one of the things that we struggle with here, and I think it's a Hudson County specific issue, especially when you look at NJ Transit. One of the issues is transit was designed a long time ago to get people out of New Jersey and into New York. Right now, I've had situations, especially in Hudson County, where you actually have to go into New York to get to where you want to go in New Jersey. So it's kind of a shame where we're telling people, oh, you have to take the bus to the Port Authority to get the bus back to New Jersey because you can't get from here to there internally. So I think the systems need to be redesigned for their current uses. You know, the whole county is growing exponentially. People are living here and working here. You can have a great job in New Jersey. You can have a great job in Hudson County. We have people from Manhattan that are coming to Hudson County as commuters to work here, but the system is all geared one way. And I think figuring out how to break that apart a little bit and to find out how you can get from somewhere in New Jersey to somewhere else in New Jersey without going through Manhattan would be brilliant. I know a lot of our members would be thrilled.
No, absolutely. And again, we have the advantage of living in such a densely populated area where, yes, to some extent, transit and mass transit specifically, you know, is advantageous to us. I have a car because I like to drive everywhere, but I also understand that if I have to go to Newport Mall or if I have to go somewhere, yes, I have the light rail nearby. I can grab a van. Listen, if I want to go to the NHL store, which, by the way, folks, if you haven't been to at the new Hudson Yards, I mean, the NHL store, leave me there for 2 hours. And,
okay, I'll go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I might max out my credit card there because I'll find tons of devil stuff to buy. But the point is that, yes, where we live up here in Hudson County, it's so advantageous. But, you know, one of the things that really breaks my heart, because, again, as we see, you know, the Hudson-Bergen Light Rail turns 25 this year. Well, the problem is it's still, I mean, we should call it correctly what it is, the Hudson Light Rail.
Right.
It's years away from ever being the Hudson-Bergen Light Rail, where ultimately, again, if you saw the plans, ultimately, you know, the light rail was supposed to keep going north into, you know, northern, you know, Hudson County, into South Bergen County, into Richfield, North Bergen by the Walmart Plaza, and then into Richfield, and then into Powell Park. And then ultimately, the last stop was going to be Inglewood Hospital. And we are years and years, if not maybe a decade away from ever seeing that reality. And again, that is something that would be so beneficial for businesses
and for traffic. because people complain about traffic all the time. If you finish the light rail project to Bergen County, that changes some things. Uh, Again, there's some investments people are looking at right now that don't make a ton of sense. For example, the bridge from 78 into Bayonne needs to be rebuilt. It's falling apart. It doesn't handle what it needs to handle. But there's no reason, I think, and this is an Emory answer, to widen the turnpike extension from Bayonne all the way into Jersey City, especially when you get to the tunnel. The tunnel's not being widened there. So part of it is even some portion of the money that is going to important work could be given to the Hudson Bergen Light Rail and to finish it, and still not hit the big total that they're talking about to expand the lane all the way to the Holland Tunnel, which again doesn't expand. So I think a little common sense would go a long way. Improved transportation would make people who live here much happier. It would make people who want to come here a lot more happier. I have a friend who lives in Union City who was telling me that she just really hates leaving Hudson County. I have to explain to her that Jersey City and Bayonne are part of Hudson County sometimes. But you try to get from Union City to Jersey City, it can be an hour some days. So anything that we can do to take the pressure off the system, off the roadways, is great for business, and we're all for it.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. I was just having this conversation the other day where I remind people that, listen, I'm a foodie. I love to go out to eat. A little fact for you, just to make you laugh a little bit, Emory. So I've been very fortunate on this program, and I just celebrated 3 years with Jersey First TV this month.
Congrats.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. And every month for years now, I mean, I've had really good traffic all organically. I've had a good following, so I'm very grateful to everyone that tunes in every week and certainly shares the replay or shares it as we are live. And at the end of the month, I look at the numbers and traffic, and I tell my family, hey, let's go out and celebrate the traffic for Real Talk. And we love, going to restaurants. We tried different restaurants. And it was interesting because obviously I'm Cuban, Colombian, and Spaniard, but my favorite cuisine is Cuban food. I don't care what time of day it is. I'll have a Cuban sandwich at 9 a.m. if I have to, I remember, going to one of the great restaurants owned by Alan Lopez. For anyone that doesn't know, if you love Roomba, he's the owner of all the Roombas. And certainly we have Maracaibo, the brand new restaurant in Union City on Kennedy Boulevard. But also he's the owner of the Mambos. There's one in Union County, on Union on Route 78. But there's a new Mambo in Harrison. And by the way, folks, Harrison is Hudson County.
It is East Newark.
Exactly. So is Kearney. So when I tell people, I'm like, yeah, I saw this great restaurant in Hudson County. It's in Harrison. And people were like, wait, what? Harrison? I'm like, yeah, Harrison, right? Where the pass station is. He's like, that's Hudson County? I'm like, yes, it is Hudson County. Just like people forget that, Bayonne, even though I like to make fun of Bayonne, 14A, stay away. I always say that's part of Hudson County, folks. It's Bayonne. It's in there.
And when you get out to Kearney and Harrison, some of the great manufacturing companies in our country are based there. They do really interesting, cutting-edge, innovative work, and people don't know they're there. It's too bad.
Yeah, and also, too, in Bayonne, I believe that we're going to be seeing a new Netflix or Amazon studio there, and that's even more commerce for the region.
Right, and Cinelise is based in Jersey City, which I think, they're great members as well, but we're looking at starting the film commission. There's so many new industries that we can look at. So even if you take us back to full circle, you can see why it's great to be here. You can see what the opportunities are here. Why are you trying to make it so hard for people? It just blows my mind sometimes, because this is such a great community with such interesting things, places that people don't have anywhere else in the United States, right? It's all right here in Hudson County. Let's make it affordable.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Folks, again, if you just joined us live, it's 6:45 here on the East Coast. We're about to wrap up shortly with the distinguished president and CEO of the Hudson Chamber of Commerce here, the great Emory Edwards, here on the program. Folks, again, like, comment, and share. It takes 2 seconds to do that and show your support for Real Talk with Fernando Uribe here on Jersey First TV. And of course, please visit HudsonChamber.org for more information about getting involved, upcoming events. Folks, I know it's tax season. If you have any disposable income, and maybe it's a little bit tough right now, but with a new president, hopefully we'll be seeing some tax cuts. We'll see. But regardless, if you have any disposable income and you're looking to donate to a great nonprofit, please select the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce. Once again, HudsonChamber.org. Your donation is safe, secure, and of course, tax deductible. So I've been plugging it a lot, man. So again, I'm not
Thank you, Fernando.
I'm not going to get on the payroll, but giving some plugs here tonight. But before I let you go, Emory, I've known you for a lot of years, and I've known you not just as the CEO and president of the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce, but I know you going back to PERC,
Right.
State Emergency Residential Corporation. Again, I think that I got the name right. So you have been very invested in our community for decades, I would argue, right? And
Absolutely.
it shows the level of service that you continue to demonstrate, really, within not just the community in general, but now the business community in your role at the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce. But we've gotten to know Emory Edwards, the philanthropist. We've gotten to know Emory Edwards, the distinguished president and CEO of the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce. But let's get to know Emory, the guy. So a quick lightning round to close our episode tonight here with Emory Edwards. So a quick little lightning round about who Emory Edwards is, the guy. So
okay,
start here. All right, favorite MLB team?
The Yankees.
All right. How do you, again, tough World Series, Dodgers are the better team. We kind of, retooled a little bit. How do you see the Yankees coming into spring training, which starts this week, by the way?
Oh, I know the year's going too fast. I don't know. I think it was a big hit this last year. So hopefully, we get out of rebuilding mode every year. But I'm always optimistic about the Yankees. But
yeah, listen,
I'm a big player.
I agree. Well, listen, I agree. But they made a pitch, they made an effort, and I think in the long term, it's a contract they're going to be happy they didn't sign.
That is true too.
For longevity, I think they retooled.
There are a few others like that, huh?
Yeah, and listen, they got an elite closer. They picked up a good outfield in Corey Bellinger. Obviously, it's in the DNA from his dad, having won championships in the 90s. Certainly, get another starter. A decent lineup. Got to hope that Aaron Judge hits in the clutch, which he has not been doing in October. But the Yankees are healthy. They'll be in the conversation. Favorite NFL team?
Oh, Jets.
Okay.
I'm one of those Yankees-Jets people. So,
like my dad, who here's a little trivia for you. My dad immigrated here from Colombia in 1968, and certainly, when he got here, what was the talk of the town? It was Broadway Joe and the Miracle Jets, who did the unthinkable, and still to this day secured the biggest upset in Super Bowl history. So since 1968, my dad has been a long-suffering Jet fan. He got to see a Super Bowl. Not sure, as my dad turns 80 next month, if you'll see another Super Bowl. He was hoping for one with Aaron Rodgers, but that was not to be.
No, I was all excited for that too.
Yeah, NBA.
NBA, I don't really have a favorite. How's that?
Okay.
Not my sport.
I think NHL, we both know it's Jersey Red.
Got it.
Hey, listen, I like the moves they made. They're in the conversation in the Eastern Conference. Losing Markstrom, obviously, for a few weeks is hurting.
And they have to shake him up a little bit right now.
Yes.
They're getting a little slow out of the gate. They're getting a little too comfortable for me.
Well, listen, they're still in the conversation. I mean, Washington's off to this crazy lead. Like everything.
Well, us with the crazy lead in the fall.
Yep. And then,
away a little bit.
They hit that slump. And listen, Washington took advantage. But it's all cycles. I mean, at some point, Washington can't keep up this pace. At some point, they slow down. Maybe we pick it up. We'll see. I think the Devils are well-tooled, I think, for a deep run this April and May. We'll see. Favorite MLS team?
Red Bulls.
Okay. You know what?
We have a professional soccer team here in Hudson County.
Yeah.
You gotta stick with the local guys.
I agree. And listen, I took my dad and uncle last year for Father's Day to their first Red Bulls game. I mean, what a great experience. I mean, listen, you jump on the turnpike, you kind of go into a little bit of the back roads, you find some parking outside. It's a great facility, family friendly, certainly a lot of history there, being one of the original teams when MLS started as the Metro Stars, folks. People forget that they were the Metro Stars, and obviously just went to the finals this past summer. The defending Eastern Conference.
Great year last year.
Yeah, listen, it's a
great experience. And quite frankly, for my friend Maria up in Union City, you don't even have to leave Hudson County.
I was about to say, jump on the light rail and then jump on the
path will take you right there too.
Yeah, jump on the light rail, get off at Exchange, go to Exchange, get up in Harrison, boom, you walk right there. There's the Red Bulls at a very affordable rate. Comic books, movies per se, DC or Marvel, Emory?
Marvel.
Okay, having said that, favorite Marvel character?
Oh my God. Don't put me in that much of a spot. And now I'm going to call a DC character, right? I don't know. Thor?
Okay, cool. I got to tell you, after Avengers Endgame, I think Marvel has had some work to do.
Yeah.
I think it starts this Thursday with the new Captain America. Obviously, for everyone that watched the Falcon and Winter Soldier series on Disney, I think that was a great Marvel series to sort of, go to really, life after Steve Rogers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think this movie coming up on Thursday. Listen, Harrison Ford as President Ross, certainly becoming the Red Hulk. No spoiler there. Obviously, if you read the comics throughout the years, you know what's happening. Certainly, Daredevil, a great series coming up on Disney for Marvel. I think Marvel, they're in a tight spot here. After Endgame, they had the Loki series, they had the Vision series, they've had, some movies that haven't done well. I think, obviously, a new Captain America. Certainly, we're moving.
It also tells you how old I am too.
Well, what do you mean?
I always love those comics.
Oh, listen, same here. And I think also we're starting to, plant the seeds for, and I can't believe that I have to get used to saying this, to Dr. Victor Von Doom with Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doom, which again is going to be the core center of the next Avengers movie, Doomsday, where he's the villain. So it's going to be interesting. I think Marvel's got, some work to do. It starts this Thursday. We'll see how people receive Captain America, Brave New World, and obviously the Fantastic Four. Listen, I'm in my 40s. I grew up watching the Fantastic Four. I love the cartoon, love the comic. Hopefully they finally get the Fantastic Four right.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah, certainly. And we'll see what happens.
It's kind of like my Jets. They'll come back around one day.
My dad is the eternal optimist. I mean,
Marvel's going to come back too.
Listen, my dad's glad to see that Aaron Rodgers will not return to the Jets. Maybe turn the page and see where they go now.
Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Glenn, we'll stick with the Aaron.
Yes, listen, Jet legend, Aaron Glenn, for God's sakes. If there's ever a chance for a legend to really galvanize New York Jets football, we'll see. It might be Aaron Glenn. Let's see. Favorite cuisine and restaurant in Hudson County, Emory?
Oh my God. Okay. That I actually really can't answer because I have so many restaurants for members of the Chamber of Commerce that I'm not going to tell you what my favorite is. My favorite cuisine these days, because it does change, is Italian. So there are a lot of great Italian restaurants, from the old school ones to some of the newer ones. There's a great new one in Bayonne that I really love. There's one in the building I'm in. So that's kind of where I am right now. It'll change.
Okay, last one. Maybe a hobby that most people don't know about Emory Edwards.
Oh my goodness, do I have any hobbies? I think my whole hobby is I am on a gazillion boards.
Okay.
One of the things that's important to me really is wherever I've lived, and I've lived here the longest I've ever lived anywhere in my life, right? I love it here. I love Hudson County. I love being here. I'm on a private charter school board. I'm really active in my local church. I'm a member of the Rotary Club. I do a lot of volunteer work. So it's very rare that I'm home ever. So if there's a hobby, it's playing with the dog, it's getting some sleep.
Okay, fair enough. Maybe one that'll surprise you about me. I am a devoted jazz fan. I listen to smooth jazz at home all the time. Anytime I can hit a jazz club in Manhattan, I will go to Blue Note.
Very cool.
Some jazz restaurants have closed over the years, unfortunately, due to the pandemic. But listen, you tell me, hey, here's a glass of scotch. Go to a jazz club. I'm there. So
let's go.
It works like that. So before I let you go, Emory, again, I want to thank you for your time. You're always a gentleman. Real quick here, the events coming up for our audience. I know I just plugged the Hudson.
March the 12th is our annual meeting in our business-to-business expo. That is with the Lieutenant Governor Tahisha Way and the New York, New Jersey World Cup Host Committee. Also, our gotta plug Hudson Gives, which is our annual nonprofit virtual giving day. That is May 8th this year. Last year, we raised $924,000. We're going to get to that $1 million mark this year. And then stay tuned for on May 9th, our North Jersey Regional Transportation Summit. I think that's the most important issue we have here locally, and we're going to talk about it.
Emory, you're always a gentleman. I appreciate your time on this show. I know you're very busy. I don't think you sleep, bro, but I appreciate taking a few minutes to come on the program. I'll see you. If I don't see one of these events coming up, I'll see you at my Alzheimer's event later on this spring. And I appreciate the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce supporting my annual Alzheimer's event. So God bless you. Once again, folks, please visit HudsonChamber.org and like them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram. Also check them out on LinkedIn and also subscribe to them on YouTube. Great stuff there. Folks, Emory Edwards, the distinguished president and CEO of the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce, our guest tonight. Emory, God bless you, brother. Enjoy, and we'll talk to you again soon here on the Jersey First Television Network.
Thanks, Fernando. God bless.
Take care. Folks, good stuff there with Emory Edwards, our distinguished president and CEO at the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce. Again, once again, folks, visit HudsonChamber.org for more information about how to get involved with, folks, one of the leading chambers of commerce anywhere here in the state of New Jersey. When you think about great work, you think about Emory Edwards and what he's doing, along with all the great staff down there in downtown Jersey City with the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce. Folks, we're getting to about top of the hour here as 7 o'clock is looming shortly here. If you're just joining us, don't go anywhere. Like, comment, and share tonight's episode here on the Jersey First Television Network. Folks, we still got a lot to cover here on the program. But once again, please visit HudsonChamber.org. Looking to get involved with the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce, looking to volunteer or donate any disposable income to them. Again, there's a donate button there, and your donation is safe, secure, and tax deductible. It goes a long way in helping one of the better chambers of commerce anywhere in New Jersey. Folks, it starts right here with the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce. Folks, hey, you know what time it is. And it's that point of the show that you're all waiting for. That's right. It's time for final thoughts. And folks, you know, one of the things I've enjoyed since November, as you can see there behind me, is going after all the social justice clowns, all the woke fools, all the insufferable feminists, and there's too many of them, and the unbearable cat ladies that we all know stink of cat piss, right? But it seems like many of them have not learned their lesson since November the 5th of last year. And of course, you know, listen, I had to update the list here because some people don't deserve to be on this list anymore. Some people aren't employed, like Tom Moran and Ron Duttlinger. And again, you know, I wish them well in their careers at McDonald's and Burger King collectively. But I had to sort of update the list here because, as we all know, there's no shortage of virtue signaling folks here in New Jersey politics and media and in activism. Of course, take your pick there, whether it is looking at, folks, these are some of the least photogenic human beings I think I've ever gathered together in one photo. Okay, I mean, take your pick here in no specific order. Obviously, looking at Itzel Hernandez. You mentioned coming home to this. I might drink myself to sleep. Oh, meal. Ouch. Of course, you have Mr. Photogenic himself, Alan Steinberg, who, it's 7 o'clock, and we all know it's past his bedtime. So he's probably tuning in tomorrow to the replay because we all know he likes to, so he can know what real traffic is on a real podcast, unlike the clown show that he runs, But here on this show, folks, it's always real traffic because it's real talk. But of course, what we learned since November, folks, is that whether it's all these clowns in some way, shape, or form, yes, they all still exhibit severe levels of Trump derangement syndrome, otherwise known as TDS. Now, I'm not a medical professional. I'm not here to diagnose anybody, but I can tell you, folks, who's exhibiting serious symptoms. And of course, listen, folks, take your pick there. Okay? Whether it's Itzel Hernandez, you're looking at Nadia Morsi, another photogenic person in New Jersey activism. I think, yikes. Or Bob Medina, who, again, it's 7 o'clock on the East Coast here. I doubt that Bob, who, is 97 years old, obviously is not watching the show right now. It's way past his bedtime or way past getting his diapers changed. So, I'm sure at some point he'll, tune in because he can't help himself. But it's these usual TDS sycophants, right? Whether it's Laura Bustamante or Maria Rodriguez-Gregg, right? Or Charles Style, who, by the way, shout out and congratulations to Charles Style, Chucky, right? Happy to see him last week at Rider University covering both the Republican and Democrat gubernatorial primary debates there on campus. And folks, I got to tell you, congratulations to Charles Style. Y ese milagro, ese huevón trabajando. This mother effer barely leaves his house. I was surprised to see Chucky there on the campus of Rider University. I'm sure that, like, once a quarter, I'm sure he won't leave his house again until, who knows, maybe Easter to cover stories. All right. Well, of course, we have all the other insufferable virtue signalers. Take your pick, folks. Amy Torres with the New Jersey Alliance of Immigrant Justice. And, of course, all the other TDS clowns in media, whether it's Max Pizarro, whether it's Uncle Dave, David Cruz, whether it's all these other insufferable cat ladies like Hetty Rosenstein. Jesus, who thought that selfie was a good idea? All right. Or, of course, Patty Campos Medina, one of the more insufferable women in New Jersey activism, right? Speaking of insufferable women, Jay Lasseter, obviously, when she is not, smoking weed all day. Let's be honest. Does he even publish articles anymore? Right? Or other virtue signalers like Lauren Albrecht, right? Or Araceli Argueta, right? Or Elizabeth Chablo. Folks, take your pick. There's no shortage of TDS in New Jersey media and advocacy and activism. But it seems like all these clowns behind me didn't get the memo from November the 5th, where the 45th president made history in well over 100 years, not since Grover Cleveland, to be elected to a second non-consecutive term. But what do we learn from November the 5th, folks? We learned that Donald Trump didn't just fall back into the office. He was voted back in with a mandate, with demographics across all the data possible. Hispanics, Latinos, Latinas, not Latinx. Stop with the woke bullshit. Okay, that's a bunch of white woke academics that want to change our language. No, I'm not buying it. Okay. Blacks, Middle Eastern, Asians, college-educated women, college-educated men, both men and women ages 18 to 35, seniors. Folks, it was a consistent and resounding mandate that got Donald Trump reelected to the White House on issues of an atrocious economy with inflation still running rampant, with wasteful spending, as we're starting to learn in Washington, with the Department of Governmental Efficiency. And what are we learning about wasteful spending? But what we also learned was the harmful effects of illegal immigration, and how the 46th president and his vice president basically slept through the last 4 years and left the border wide open. And what we saw were Americans just being tired of all these illegals running around, whether it's gang members terrorizing residents in Colorado in apartment complexes, whether it's millions of taxpayer dollars being spent to house illegals in hotels in New York City, whether it's illegals burning Americans alive on subways, whether it's illegals committing crime in broad daylight in Times Square. Folks, take your pick. We've seen the harmful effects of illegal immigration. And that's why Americans voted the way they did. That's why Donald Trump just didn't win the Electoral College decisively, but he won the popular vote decisively. He swept all the swing states decisively. He turned hundreds of counties red decisively. He came within 5 points here in New Jersey of flipping the state red for the first time since 1988, when then George H.W. Bush was the last Republican to win here in New Jersey. But you would think all these clowns behind me would have gotten the message. But no, they're doubling down. They're doubling down with, we need to coddle illegals at all turns and whenever possible. But when I think about clowns, and I think about people that are just, they live to coddle illegals, okay? And you can tell by her social media presence, okay? She lives to bitch and she bitches to live. That's, folks, that is the most succinct way to describe Amy Torres. Okay? A woman who, let's be honest, has never had a real job in her life. Okay? Who occasionally maybe leaves her house to do some actual work. You know, like her, Max Pizarro, Charles Style, Matt Friedman, you know, they all have something in common. They're effing lazy. But what makes Amy Torres especially dangerous, and folks, I've been more than happy to tweet this out on X, and it's kind of interesting, you know, for Amy Torres to screenshot tweets where I have completely cooked her to have it as her cover photo. Well, Amy, listen, I mean, to be fair, I mean, I'm the best looking man you're going to have on your social media. So, I mean, hey, I mean, kudos to you. I mean, I don't blame you. You know, having this handsome face on your social media, I mean, God knows no other handsome man's going to go on there. So, but it's serious, folks. What makes Amy Torres absolutely insufferable is how tone deaf she is. Now, I don't know what your level of degrees are, Amy, but you don't need a lawyer to understand that one of the responsibilities of the executive branch is to work with the federal government to ensure border security and to preserve our sovereignty. Right? Because for far too long, especially in the last 4 years, what we have seen is illegals coming across the border and running wild, whether it's engaging in criminality, whether it's overcrowding our public schools, whether it's destroying real estate in the communities we live in. Take your pick, folks. And no, and this is not harsh. This is not me being xenophobic. Folks, I am the son of immigrants. Okay? My parents came here decades ago. They came here the right way. They did it the right way. Didn't expect any handouts. They worked hard and thus showed me a good work ethic that I still exhibit today. Okay? But what the New Jersey Alliance of Immigrant Justice likes to do is somehow continue to coddle illegals unnecessarily. And that's the problem with people like Amy Torres and these organizations. Okay? So the first weekend of the Trump presidency, we saw ICE raids everywhere. Why wasn't there an ICE raid in Passaic this weekend? I mean, they made no bones about it. They weren't shy about assembling. I mean, really? ICE couldn't go in there and maybe pick up like the weekend's quota? I don't know. Kind of weird. Maybe they took off the weekend off maybe after incarcerating so many criminal illegals. But folks, what bothers me more about these insufferable virtue signalers, and folks, take your pick. It's not just Amy Torres, but it's, Dios mío, que esto. Oh, I think I need a drink here. Hold on a second. Ay, Dios mío. Eso da miedo. Whether it's, you know, photogenic individuals like Itzel Hernandez, right? You have others like, oh, mira esto. Araceli Arguera. Ay, Dios mío. Que esto. Can you imagine coming home to this? Folks, I would drink myself to sleep. Really. I mean, this is, wow. Obviously, others like Nydia Morsi from Make the Road New Jersey, the executive director, another useless virtue signaler that would rather coddle illegals and look all cool in front of the woke crowd than actually believe in keeping our community safe. Okay? Nydia Morsi isn't interested in keeping our community safe. She isn't. She's not interested in addressing the issues about illegal immigration and the toxicity that it's presented. Folks, we have seen illegals engage in criminality all across this country. And what Donald Trump and the borders are, an actual borders are that actually does work, like Tom Homan, is going into these communities and rounding up criminal illegals. Some very dangerous illegals too, by the way. If you check out the ICE page on Twitter, you can see as they report every day who they're taking into custody. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? And for journalists, well, propagandists, let's stop with, maybe he's masquerading as a journalist. It's too early for Halloween, but whether it's David Cruz or others that want to bash the Laken Riley Act, folks, at least we have some members of the House of Representatives and in the Senate that care about keeping Americans safe. Okay? But women like this, they don't care. They're too busy with their bougie parties and their bougie mixers, ordering food from Uber Eats, getting the third cappuccino from Starbucks, and virtuously standing there with the, with the bullhorn and screaming, "Si se puede, si se puede." No, folks. All that is to collect donations, virtue signal, get those likes and clicks and views on social media, and just make unnecessary noise. Folks, these are serious times. These are serious problems we have, and we need serious people to solve them. Okay? And people like this, like the women I just listed here, look at this other Miss Virginia, Elizabeth Chavez. Dios mío, que esto? These aren't serious people, folks. And when we think about what are some stats, folks, look at what ICE has been able to do in just 18 days into the second Trump presidency. Okay? That's how serious the problem is. That is the baggage that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris left us. Okay? That's what they left us. But do you think, and again, by the way, let's put things into perspective with numbers. Okay? Barack Obama, in 8 years, from 2009 until from January 2009 until January 2017, deported over 3 million illegals. Okay? That's more in those 8 years than the 16 years of Bill Clinton and George W. Bush. And at any point in time during the Obama presidency, did the economy collapse? Did this country implode and just go to absolute shit? No. It went to shit for other reasons under the Obama presidency, but that's a topic for another day. So this idea that Amy Torres, Nadia Morsi, and the rest of the photogenic crew, again, Araceli Arguera, Itzel Hernandez, Elizabeth Chavez, what they would want you to believe is that with the deportations of illegals, even the most minimal of severity, is going to tank this economy. No, it's not, folks. It's not. It just isn't. They want you to believe it does, but it won't. And what we have seen for years now, during the last 4 years of the 46th president, was illegals running amok. Okay? It's pregnant women coming across the border illegally, having their children here, and guess what? Because of birthright citizenship guaranteed by the 14th Amendment, well, these kids become American citizens. And thus, what do? They overcrowd our schools. They use up our social services. Folks, I know hundreds of teachers in New Jersey and school districts all across this great state of ours, in all 21 counties. There is absolutely no reason for classrooms, especially in densely populated areas, especially in urban areas, to have classrooms the size of 40, 45, even 50 students. That's not manageable by all of our hardworking men and women who are teachers in this state. Or illegals that crowd into all these one-bedroom apartments or homes and thus destroy the quality of life in our communities, that engage in criminality. We've been seeing it. That's not slander, folks. That's not defamation. Those are facts. Okay? The problem has become so pervasive that we're having to take over 11,000 illegals into federal prisons because that's how serious the problem is. But again, Amy Torres And the clowns that work with her at the New Jersey Alliance for Immigrant Justice would rather virtue signal and tell you, oh, how we lack compassion for, for marginalized communities. Bullshit, Amy. You know, as well as I do, that your virtue signaling is on steroids now. That's what it is. Now, the problem is that nobody in establishment media wants to call you out because why would they? They coddle you too. Whether it's Uncle Dave, David Cruz, who has you on incessantly and somehow thinks that you're a good representative, number one, for the Hispanic community. Okay? Like Uncle Dave, I doubt you speak a lick of Spanish, so that's kind of interesting for me. Porque yo soy bilingüe, yo puedo hablar español todo el día. Pero that's another conversation. But the amount of virtue signaling that you engage in, Amy, is disgraceful because, again, let me put this into real world perspective. Because, again, for those of us that live and work in the real world with real jobs, let me put this perspective out for you and for everybody else that loves to coddle illegals. Okay? My dad's Colombian. I love visiting Colombia for different reasons. The women are hot, the food is great, and the weather's good. But when I decide to visit Colombia later this summer, if I decide to, well, I don't know. I don't feel like going back. I feel like staying in Bucaramanga. And I decide to start doing Real Talk on Monday nights, live from Bucaramanga. Okay? And while doing that, I might just say, hey, you know what? I live here. I should have the right to vote if I'm working or paying taxes or whatever the rest of the narrative is. And while I'm there, maybe I should apply for a driver's license. And while I'm there, you know what? With the 5 degrees I already have, maybe I'll go get another degree. You think in Colombia, folks, that the government, and mind you, the country's going to shit under an atrocious socialist president in Gustavo Petro, que es una basura. Like Petro una mierda, pero again, that's a topic for another day. But even in a Petro regime, do you think I can just go and apply for public assistance? Do you think I can just go apply to register to vote? Do you think I can apply to maybe get a driver's license and drive an automobile in Colombia? Do you think I can go register at a local college in La Provincia de Santander? Spoiler alert, no, I can't. Because I'm not there illegally. I might be visiting. I might be a tourist. But I have no rights to citizenship. I have no rights to anything that Colombian citizens have the privilege of having. Because citizenship matters. Okay? But to people like Amy Torres, Nadia Morsi, y todas estas come mierdas que, will bitch to live and live to bitch. No, ladies. Illegals are not entitled to anything. They're here illegally. But you would rather engage in semantics and play with your usual word salads by saying undocumented migrants. No, folks, there's nothing undocumented about anything. Once you are here illegally, you have broken federal law. And if you've broken federal law, then guess what? That earns you a ticket to get deported. Because sovereignty matters. Citizenship matters. Following immigration law matters. And it seems like throughout Latin America, this isn't a foreign concept. But to the left, to all the TDS sycophants, to all the virtue signalers like Amy Torres, they don't want to hear that. They would rather lecture you that they know better, that they're smarter than you. Newsflash, sweetie, you're not smarter than me. And none of the ladies I just named as well. Now, I don't want to get into a pissing contest here about intellect. But folks, I just give you concrete examples as to why, again, these are serious times. These are serious problems we have. And we need serious people to solve them. And when I think of serious people, folks, I never think about Amy Torres. Those are, and that's not a prediction, folks. That's a spoiler. And unfortunately, in establishment media, nobody calls this out. But she deserves to get called out. and so do the rest of our minions that perpetuate all this woke nonsense about coddling illegals. How about standing up for citizens, Amy? How about having the best interest for citizens? For Americans? Might want to try it sometime, Amy. When your face isn't buried in your latest meal you just got from Uber Eats, or you're sipping on your latest cappuccino from Starbucks. Again, you're always welcome to come on the show and have a debate. I've reached out to you in the past. You're not interested. Cool. I get it. You don't want to be held accountable for all the bullshit that you spew all the time on social media, in radio interviews, and other media appearances. But I'm going to keep you accountable, as well as the rest of the idiots that you surround yourself with. And folks, in New Jersey advocacy and activism, there's no shortage of them. So as I said before, when I think about serious people, I never think about Amy Torres. And those are my final thoughts. Folks, before we call it a night here, I do want to thank you all once again. If you didn't hear it last week, it bears repeating. Thank you to everybody that made Real Talk with Fernando Uribe yet another successful month in January of 2025. What a great way to kick off the new year with over 69,000 organic views. See some good numbers tonight live during the broadcast, and I'm sure hopefully we'll see some great traffic during the week as people share the replays. But folks, here this past week, I celebrated 3 years with Jersey First. And I got to tell you that to Rosemary Becky, to Ashley Smith, my bosses at Jersey First, I can't think of better bosses to have in statewide media. As you all remember, I started Real Talk on June the 1st in 2020, in the middle of the pandemic, when we were home. We couldn't go outside because of overreaching vaccine mandates and mask mandates. And as we were home as a result of draconian mandates during the pandemic, I started Real Talk with Eyes on NJ News. And I'm forever grateful to Jordan Komowitz and John Emmons IV for believing in my media brand. And as I moved on to Jersey First and Jersey First TV in February of 2022, I didn't know what to expect, but I knew if I bring it every week, that you, the fans, would respond, that you, the fans, would stay on the bandwagon and continue to support me. And you have. You've seen the numbers, folks, all organic, nothing boosted, no paid ads, nothing. Okay? We are as organic as the produce department at Whole Foods and Trader Joe's. So to all of you, I thank you. Because again, without all of you, these numbers wouldn't be possible. And I'm deeply humbled by your support. And I'm not the most humble guy around, as you all know. But I do want to take this opportunity to thank everybody once again as Real Talk celebrates 3 years here with Jersey First TV. And thank you to everyone for all the great traffic. Now that's humble Fernando. Regular Fernando? Yeah, you know what? Como se dice que yo quiero bochinchar, un poquito chancletero, a little chirpy, because I like to talk. Yeah, folks, aquí viene la chumería.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they...
Folks, let's listen again. Why not? Because it deserves to be heard again.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they...
Yes, folks, once again, I want to thank everybody that continue to make Real Talk with Fernando Uribe a success here on Jersey First TV. 3 years and counting with Jersey First. And again, I could not be more grateful to my bosses, Rosemary, Becky, and Ashley Smith. I know I give them a lot of headaches, but I know they're happy with the traffic and they're happy with my body of work. And I know all of you are as well. So thank you for supporting Real Talk here on the Jersey First Television Network. Folks, and that's our show for this week. Once again, I want to thank the distinguished president and CEO of the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce, Emory, for his appearance this week, talking about today's business climate, what needs to improve, and quite frankly, all the great work the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce does every single day. Again, please visit them at HudsonChamber.org for more information. Folks, again, for everyone here, we appreciate you tuning in. Certainly, if you haven't done so already, check us out on all of our social media platforms. Make sure you like us on Facebook, of course, follow us on X and Instagram, and of course, click on the subscribe button on YouTube, and you'll be automatically notified of all the great content brought to you by Jersey First TV. And of course, when you get your podcast on Spotify or SoundCloud, download Jersey First and take it with you anywhere at any time, whether you're walking your dog, going shopping for Valentine's Day, whether you're, maybe planning that weekend, long weekend trip coming up here for President's Day weekend, wherever it is you're doing. I'm sure you're on your phone, your smartphone, your PC, your Mac, or tablet. Check out Jersey First. Oh, obviously on all the podcasts there, on Spotify and SoundCloud, of course, all of our social media platforms. Folks, I can't say enough how privileged I am to be on the dream team of Garden State Media. That is Jersey First TV. Of course, brand new episodes of the Nader Narrative premiere every Thursday. Check your local listings, of course, for start times. Of course, shout out to my amazing tag team partner, Elizabeth Nader, for hosting the Nader Narrative. Great conversations and great content every single week there with the Nader Narrative. Of course, folks, every Monday night live at 6 p.m. Eastern time, you can check out Real Talk, of course. Check out all the listings for start times and our guests every single week, folks. I bring it every single Monday night. And of course, the traffic talks for me. And while, again, you got a lot of little Mickey Mouse journalists with Mickey Mouse traffic, folks, there's nothing Mickey Mouse here. It's real traffic because it's real talk. So I want to thank everyone that makes it all possible. Always remember, folks, if it's unbiased, unfiltered, and unafraid, it's always real talk right here on the Jersey First Television Network. As you know, I am the generational talent in Garden State Media and certainly the weapon of mass disruption, because my level of honesty, ladies and gentlemen, now more than ever, is truly necessary in this era of journalistic deception. That's right, folks. It's me, Fernando Uribe. Thank you so much for tuning in here, folks. Enjoy the rest of your week. Please be safe with some of the storms we have coming in. Again, watch out for that ice. Please drive carefully. Again, look after your elderly neighbors, children. Folks, enjoy Valentine's Day on a Friday, of course. Very few times that ever, get celebrated on a weekend. To all the sweethearts out there, enjoy. Make sure you don't go too crazy shopping for too many Valentines, as they say. And, of course, enjoy the long President's Day weekend. Enjoy yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Please party responsibly. Always, thanks for stopping by. Always remember, stay classy, everyone.